Okay guys, this is one of my cool inventions. A self-watering planter. It collects the water from overnight dew, from dew condensation. And the way it works, this planter, this is the planter itself. This is where the soil goes. And this is a water collection system. So basically, this is it could be around the planter. It doesn't matter. It's just the point is it's a system that collects the water, and the way it works is you fill it up to a certain point, the water itself, just to make it fill it up, and then it'll take over by itself. If there's humidity overnight, it'll start collecting the water by itself, and water will be flowing to the soil itself. So they just say this is the water table. And we have this material right here, which is semi light dark. It cannot be too dark and it cannot be too light. It has to be in between because the sun's going to heat the water to a warm temperature, but not overheat it. It has to be warm, but not too hot. So if it's too hot, you don't want to boil the water. So you just want to have a warm water, but not boiling. So that's what I'm saying. I have a semi-light dark material, which will be this right here. Then I have an air gap in between, and then I'll have a glass. So the heat source, the sunlight itself, will penetrate the glass, the blue line. So penetrate the glass, and then there's a air gap, more like insulation, which is the air gap itself. Then the inside material, the wall that holds the water, will be a semi-light dark. In other words, not too dark and not too light, in between. Okay, so the water will become warm, right? And overnight, when the warmth water will start to collecting on the bottom, over here, and it'll cause the top to condense water droplets overnight. So the droplets will condensate on top and start dripping into the opening and filling up the reservoir. So this reservoir will be filled by this condensation overnight. When the water table when the water table gets certain height, let's say here's a you can see that there's a little opening here. So let's say the water table gets higher and higher and overfills. So that's when it starts watering the plant or whatever you have, bush or whatever you have in there. So when the water table rises, because overnight condensation is filling up the water table. So when the water table gets higher to a point where the opening is at, the spigot, what do you call it, or drain, whatever. So if the water was over here, it'll start spilling over to the dirt. So overnight, at the same time, I'll be watering the plant. So it'll always keep water in the reservoir. So it'll fill up by itself. Well, anyway, that's my point system. That's my invention. You have it could be around the planter, or you could have each side where the sun rises and the sun sets. So there you go, folks.